Welcome back to Learning the Tarot. Today we are talking about the Knight of Swords. So as with all of the court cards, I'm gonna be honest, both of the books kind of suck at like really relating it to you in a reading. I don't know what it is, but it's like because it's the court cards, both of the books, and I'm sure it happens to a lot of other ones, but again, I'm using my two sources right now, and like they get so hyper-focused on what the character is doing in the card, and they don't actually relate it to how it would present in a reading. It's like, oh, but look at him, and look at what he's doing, and what he's all about, and all of his characteristics, and it's like, so is that, how is that applying to situations right now? Because like, it kind of doesn't, and you kind of have to like piece it together, where other cards, they just explain it very openly, and like, I don't know what it is about the court cards that they're just like, but it represents a person. Why can't it represent a situation? Because I feel like it's just not as common to always have it representing a person, where it's like, well, this represents this kind of person, and this represents this kind of a person. I don't know, and it always has to be gendered too, which is like also kind of annoying. And like, again, I'm not like super big on the discussion of gender, but also it does get annoying, where this is like the page and the knight are always represented as boys. And it's like, but why? Why can't the knight be a girl? And like, why do we need to throw gender onto it anyways? And not just like for the card image itself, but how you interpret it. Like, it always is going to represent a specific type of guy. And it's like, but why? Why does it have to, why? Why does that matter? Because also, let's be real, it doesn't represent all of the people nowadays. Because like how would you, what would you say if it was a non-binary person? You know, like, just, it's the stupid little things that sometimes get me, but like, I'm just so tired of it. It has to represent this kind of a person, or if it's going to represent a person, it's going to be this type. It just seems really, really strange. Like, why put a gender on it? And again, I'm not like super big into it, but also it does kind of get annoying. Like, there's a lot of like gendering of stuff in the craft that doesn't need to be there. Like, this card could just represent a person with these traits, because you can find it in both men and women. I don't know, it's such a weird soapbox to get on, but I'm definitely there, and it's like, but why, guys? Like, this is just so dumb. And it's not even like that last sentence where it goes for any and all of the gender options, where guys is just like one of those things that millennials grew up with, where it just gender neutral. Same with dude, gender neutral. But like, I don't know, it's a weird soapbox to get on, but I'm there, and like, it just, why? Because it makes my notes harder to do, where you're like, I don't care the traits of this person that could supposedly come into your life, because like, odds are good my readings have zero to do with a person coming into my life, and it's mostly introspection, not outrospection of the world around me, if that makes sense. Anyways, let's get on to the notes. So this card is telling us that we need to be cautious at this time, and basically to just kind of be aware of anything that could be coming up. This is a card that's like a bringer of a message of some sorts. It also said it could be like associated with travel, but for the most part, both of the books kind of were hinting more like this is a delivery of a message of some kind. And again, that you just need to be prepared and ready for whatever. So like, again, vigilance, using the mind. The reversed, as per usual, we have a lot of delay cards. Yet again, a delay card. When the Knight of Swords is reversed, it can mean that you're having like a hard time keeping on, because you're just mentally exhausted. Like, burnout could definitely be on the horizon. And when you're mentally exhausted, or leading into burnout, or maybe you're in burnout, you have this tendency to lash out at people around you, and that's what the reverse of this card seems to be saying. It might also feel like this is just a time of like constant struggles and delays, and just nothing is going your way, and basically, as with the upright, you just need to proceed with some caution. I feel like the reversed caution is to make sure that you're not burning bridges as you're going along, and you're not making mistakes, whereas the upright is more like a heads up of like watch around you. Reversed is like watch within kind of an attitude, but I would love to hear your interpretations. Because again, like these court cards, it's mostly talking about the character it could be in your life versus how it could relate to you. So that was the most I could kind of gather for these cards. So those of you who have been reading for a while, I'm curious what your interpretation for this card is, because like everybody does it differently too. So that kind of like complicates it a little bit. Like there's some level of it kind of being the same, but then you get into every deck and everyone does it a little bit different. So anyways, I would love to hear your interpretations down below. Huge thank you to my patrons. I'll have their names here on the screen. If you'd like to support me and get access to exclusive content, it is patreon.com/nightwillowcrafts. Make sure to like and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and bless be.